Hello guys, and welcome back to the next video. Now in this video we will be talking about daily habits and creating systems that actually work for you. Now a lot of what will be saying to you will be taken from the Atomic Habits book by James Clear and also Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg. And these two books I really recommend you starting before you start your transformation. Even RNT Fitness, the creator of RNT Fitness, Akash, in his book he's also referenced a lot from these books, from his bibliography. He's taken stuff out that has inspired him. And I can see how it's worked in the program that RNT has created for clients like us. So I really recommend you read these books because James Clear talks about habits and how habits are like behaviors that have to be repeated enough times until it's like second nature. And then he also talks about habits simply are a reliable solution to problems in our environments. And if we don't like something, what do? We try to make systems to get out of that problem using existing habits, which I'll go over. So he talks a lot about behavior and how you can change behavior. And whenever you want to change behavior, you have to ask yourself, how can I make it obvious? If you want to change your behavior, how can I make it obvious? He talks about, okay, how can I make it attractive? So all these things will help you easily change behavior, right? Then he would ask questions like, how would you make it more easier? And how would you make it more satisfying? So all these questions you have to ask yourself when you're starting to change your behavior. What are these things that I can do, Your habits are shaped by the systems in your life. So then he talks about your habits and how they are shaped by the systems in your life. So you create these systems and then you follow through with them to create your new habit. Instead of like just the end goal. Goal is good, but it's not going to get you there. You have to go through the journey, the systems that will get you there. And those systems, those behaviors have to be, like we're saying, obvious, attractive, satisfying, and easy to kind of learn and pick up and add to your daily routine. And he calls this, I know in Tiny Habits, he referenced BJ Fogg, and BJ Fogg calls this the tiny habit recipe, but James Clear calls it the habit stacking, like stacking habits on top of existing habits, which I did. And it was absolutely game-changing for me, absolutely game-changing. Like, for example, he gives the example of meditation. And then he says, all right, if you're meditating every day, you do that anyway. That's a new thing you want to do. But what do you do every day before that? Okay, before I have my cup of coffee first, like I normally do. After that, I will do my meditation. So it's kind of adding to existing habits. So he talks about exercise. Okay, how can I do exercise? When I come back from work, I'll immediately change into my gym clothes and I will do my workout. So he's talking about, like, for example, if you're married or if you have a girlfriend or partner, as you get to bed, which you're going to do anyway, right? That's the habit. After you get to bed, you kiss your partner and then you go to bed. Simple habits like that. Then he talks about safety. Safety could be like, when I go for a run, I will call my wife or my partner or mum or dad or spouse or whatever, your brother, and say, I'm just going to run around the block. So these little increments of habits that you're creating on top of existing habits. So for him, he said the key to all this is to tie a new behavior to an existing behavior you already have. For me, for example, in the morning, I've seen my mum wake up for the last, I've been 39, last 30 years meditating, 35 years. I've seen her get up in the morning early, 5 o'clock, and she's had that discipline for the last 50 years. She just does it without fail. So meditation was ingrained in me anyway when I was growing up. So I do it every morning. I do it like 15 minutes, half an hour. So I get up when I first started the journey, I would get up at 5 in the morning, and then later on about 6 in the morning, then I would meditate for 15 minutes or half an hour, and then I'd add the walk to it. And then that would be my habit stacking. And the idea is once you start mastering it, James Clear talks about how you can add other habits and create a chain effect along the way. So then he mentions the coffee thing, the example, right? After I pour my drink of coffee, I will meditate. After I meditate, I will write my to-do list. After my to-do list, I will do my first task. So he's kind of adding all these little things linked to his routine and slowly stacking. Another example he gives is, after he finishes his dinner, he would put the plate straight into the dishwasher. After he puts in the dishwasher, he will wipe the countertop. And after he wiped the countertop, I will put my coffee mug on there, ready for tomorrow's morning's coffee. So it's all kind of, in a way, is adding a flow to creating the new behavior, and he's conscious of it. So, and it's very little increments, like we're saying 1% every day, right? 1% every day for 1 year, and you will improve in 1 year as a person if you do these in all different areas in your life. And he has so many of these examples in the book which are so obvious, but we never really think about it. You know, when he talks about exercise, he talks about when I see a set of stairs, I'll take the stairs instead of the lift. Or when it's like social skills, he talks about when I walk into a room or a party, I'll introduce myself. Finances, he goes on about, you know, if I see something for $100, I'll wait a day and see if I still want it. So it's very obvious what he's reminding us of, but we all need that reminder, you know. We all need that. He talks about, if I'm having a healthy meal, I put veggies on my plate first, you know, minimizing stuff. Like if I buy something, a book or whatever, I'll give something away. He mentions like all these different books, and I think that it's good to be reminded of these obvious things because we tend to forget. And the book is good reference to go back to. So check them out definitely and read them. And the amount of stuff I have highlighted in that book, it's amazing, and I've just gone over, and I'm just sharing the stuff that really made a lot of sense to me and changed my thinking, changed the way I create systems in my daily life, and it's made my professional work as an animator more efficient, I would say, in working. So in conclusion, habit stacking is basically you're pairing two habits, an existing habit to a new one. And all you're doing is you're using the formula of, I've got this habit that I like, and I'm going to add this one to it, which is very much associated with that will flow into the other one. So, and you want to do little bits first, and you want to do them every day, slowly, and then it gets ingrained in your DNA. So that's just a little bit about creating habits and systems in your daily routine that will work for you, that will help for you. So have a think about that, write down the existing habits that you have or systems you might even have. Some people might even have established systems there. And then just go through them and ask yourself, okay, during my transformation journey, okay, the journey I'm sharing with you is every day there's 5 things that I have to do, right? So from what I've just learned from my fitness journey, the 5 things are, which the program calls non-negotiables, is 10,000 steps, follow a nutrition plan, 3 times weight training a week, 3 to 4 liters of water a day, drink it, and 7 to 8 hours sleep. So they're the 5 must-dos. So for me, at the beginning of my journey, that was my must-do, no matter what, as they would call it, the RNT Fitness would call it, non-negotiables. These are non-negotiable. You have to do these. So I had to create a system. All right, how can I get 10,000? My wife just gave birth to my daughter last year. So she was about 7 months when I started this journey. Okay, how can I fit that in? Because I have to help my wife feed, and I have to change her, and I'm working at home at the same time because of lockdown. So all these things had to be taken into account. So I created a system. I woke up early in the morning because the timing of the baby was very early or later. Like I knew the window where she would wake up around 4, so I knew she'd go back to bed straight away. So I would say, all right, if I wake up at 5, that gives me enough time for an hour to get my walk in. So I'll be back by 6, and then I can start. Obviously, I meditate first, then do the walk, then come back, have the breakfast, then I'll start my work. And obviously, my wife was off maternity leave, so she could look after the baby. And I had a little bit of pressure off me because I was working full time too. So you just work around your day and see what fits you and what suits you. And then you start creating those little daily habits associated with your existing habits, okay? All right, so I hope that helps. Check out the books. I'll put them here. You can see them again. I really recommend you reading these books because they did change my life. And I don't normally say that about books, but so simple in their approach, such an easy read, and so effective. And join James Clear's email list because he comes out with some very useful stuff. You know, you'll get your 321, which is his 321 points, his free quotes, 2 inspiring stuff from the internet, and 1 question for you. and it's brilliant. You know, I'll definitely recommend it. If there's a link, I'll try and put it in the description below, so you can go to his newsletter, and there's a wealth of information you'll get in your inbox directly, and 100% would recommend that. Okay, so I'll see you in the next video, guys.